Enter.
2 weeks in a row.
It's all lost. Jeej. I should.
Yeah.
I'll start recording in my OBS from now on.
Because you switched streams? What did you mean?
Yeah, every time I switch, maybe because I moved my computer, I don't know. Something happens in which all of my audio resets, all of my voice, mics, and music, it just resets to nothing. I think every time my Go XLR gets unplugged, I think that's what it is. Like I'm not no cap, like no bullshit. Every time it does that.
Sure. OBS is a bitch.
So
I love it.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
yeah, so basically all I have to do is I already fixed it within 10 seconds, but if I don't catch it immediately, then we lose that audio.
Check it out. I have
We're here now.
I have a art screen right here that I draw on. It's like on my lap. So if I fill it with red, then I've got a red side light to my screen. Look at this. Kind of cool.
Ooh, yeah.
That actually 100% is kind of cool.
Yep.
I have a little bit of fancier thing. I just changed it to red. I don't know if you can see it, but my back accent light is now green, now blue. So yeah, I kind of
Sexy lights.
spent a
If I
little
use
money
my
on
flashlight,
that.
I can look like I'm at a campfire.
Yeah, see it?
Yeah.
You about to tell us
Yeah,
a
yeah,
story
yeah. That's
by
dope.
the Midnight Society?
Yeah.
Throw some gunpowder in the fire. All right.
The hardest thing to do in the
What?
world is to go from
That's
No, I don't
Are You
know.
Afraid of the Dark? A little TV show where kids would sit around the campfire, tell stories.
oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's a good show.
All right, Caleb, you might be too young.
That's fine.
Say it slower.
Welcome to the Nerdy Bits show, and it's spontaneous on the chat. I don't use default ever, but when I unplug the Go XLR, it goes to default. It's fucked up. But welcome to the Nerdy Bits show. This is our bi-weekly. Is it bi-weekly or bi-monthly? I'm so confused.
They're actually the same
on
thing.
which one is proper.
Okay, and bi-weekly also means twice a week and also every 2 weeks. So
That's such a weird thing. It is not it's not our twice a week. It's our twice a month podcast, Nerdy Bits show. It's a pop podcast, and we talk about pop things.
It's a pop. It's a
it kinda-
podcast, if you will.
It's a
Ooh.
pop fucking cast. I like that.
not bad.
Let me put that down. In
People in Minnesota are gonna be like, "Oh, they finally made that podcast about pop."
about soda.
That was a weird accent there, Caleb.
I don't know Minnesota
I didn't know what it was.
It's
It
a
stumbled
But
out
you
of
know
my
what?
mouth.
I knew what it meant.
You
though.
knew what I was trying
Like,
to
I knew
do.
what
Yeah.
region.
it's an
You knew what
enhanced
I was trying to
Missourian.
do.
It's enhanced Missourian accent. That's what it is.
Yeah, they're gonna be like Missouri. You can't talk shit.
I did.
They
I
might
did
be
the.
right.
I did the Fargo accent.
There you go.
There you go.
This episode 16 of the Nerdy Bits podcast, is all about the DCEU and the Snyderverse.
It's actually not about the DCEU because the Snyderverse is not that.
Good
We're
point.
gonna talk about the DCEU,
Yeah.
and I'm
Well,
gonna talk
it's-
shit
it's
about
the
the
DCEU.
The EU DC.
Yeah, it was the DCEU. No, it's not anymore.
DCEU.
Ew. I hate that one.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Sarge.
Thank you.
I'm upset.
So if you've been-
I'm upset.
So if you've been living under a
And when-
rock,
and
of course, and if you don't care about Justice League, I don't know why you're listening to us. But so Justice League came out
Should
a
I
couple
be
years
here then?
ago. Justice League came out a couple years ago and had lackluster reviews and sparked controversy and finally people stopped talking about the prequels. Now they complain about Justice League, and then the fans attacked Jack Snyder and DC and
not-
WB. Yeah, enough.
Jack Snyder.
Enough that that
Who's
they
Jack
finally
Snyder?
Shut up.
He meant to say Zach. Okay.
Somebody said Jack earlier, and I was confused.
Oh, okay. And then they finally said
I'm gonna say Josh Snyder for the rest of the podcast.
Josh, sure, fuck it.
Josh Snyder.
That they finally said, all right, fuck you, here's a cut, and then they threw $80 million at it, and here we are. So that's the
Zack
the skinny.
Snyder, more like Wax Snyder.
All right. Before we even talk about it, fuck it. I'm gonna break any format that anyone would ever have in a podcast. Before we even talk about in depth the deep
Talk
dive,
about the ending.
I want the grades right now.
Ooh,
Before I hear your reasoning, I want the grades. Caleb, what's your grade?
C.
Fuck.
All right. Okay, Sarge, great.
I don't want to give it now. Ben's all judgy.
Ben feels deeply personal.
Hold on,
about
wait,
this.
Tech. Can I amend
I'll-
your request? Can I have a previous grade and a new grade?
No, we'll talk about Josh later.
You said it like it's a family member. You got to have an intervention.
We're gonna
for.
talk about Josh in a minute. I want to know what you feel about 4 hours Zack Snyder cut. Sarge, what's your grade?
I'll give it a B.
Okay, Ben.
A++.
Yes.
Careful how you
Um,
answer this. It might call into question your ability to grade students.
It's official. You suck.
Go ahead.
I'm torn. Maybe I'll give you guys the onus of changing my mind between a B+ and an A-.
Oh, okay. So you're between B plus A minus. I'll take that.
I'm between 88 and 92. Right?
Yo, that could be your star student right there, though. Like your star student could be in that pocket.
If my star student gave me the Justice League, and then 16 weeks later they gave me the Zack Snyder cut, I'd be like, okay,
This is
clearly learned
improvement.
something. You clearly learned something in the last 16 weeks.
We're not
You're
grading the
trying-
improvement. We're grading.
You're trying to push this Josh Whedon narrative so hard, like the combination of the two. And I just want you to like literally just like talk about what you just saw for 4 hours.
I really enjoyed it.
That's
I really, really, really enjoyed it.
so that's a B plus A minus for you.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give it a C.
Oh God! Thank God. I thought I was gonna be the one that had to fucking defend that the entire episode. Thank you.
No.
Jack,
I'm
for being with
gonna
me.
give it a C. But I'm gonna say we'll talk about it. But I'm gonna say C. You can pass the class with a C.
Uh-oh.
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 That's all I'm gonna say. But all right.
And the stream's lagging. Oh no. Stay tuned. In
I love the
chat.
barbershop quartet. Uh-oh, we just
What's it
pulled
doing?
off. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. There it is. You made me do it on my own a minute ago.
I didn't have it yet. I haven't filled everything back in yet.
You know,
All
I just
right.
realized
Let's what did you just
That
while
say?
we're
the
talking
stream
about
fucked
this,
up?
I'm just gonna be thinking about the fact that Falcon Winter Soldier's tomorrow, and I'm very excited for that.
Mhm.
Wait,
It's
And stream's
actually
gone. Yep.
Yep.
We're upset.
Do you think internet?
all right, so yeah.
One thing I'm going to mention. Oh,
Oh,
Tech.
there he is.
that was
Hi,
fast.
friend.
I'm back. So what's going on? Am I freezing?
So you snap froze and everything stopped.
The
The
stream's
stream
dead.
stopped. You stopped. You just came back
Yep.
just now.
All right, so I have 0 frames. I haven't dropped a frame yet. It's so weird.
Mm.
But I will say this, like since I moved everything away from the router, I'm on Wi-Fi now. So that might be it.
Yep.
But I've been pulling 300 megabytes per second up and down
That's good.
Yeah.
the whole time. On Wi-Fi whole time. So I'll if push comes to shove, I will connect the router to the hardwire.
On upload, you're
Okay.
getting 300.
Yeah.
Okay, damn.
With fiber.
Stream's back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's back and forth. Actually, it's kind of there. It
I'm
is.
good.
It's
No, I'm good.
up.
I have
Yeah,
a
it's up.
pad, so I don't pay for Twitch Plus. I'm on the Twitch bitch subscription.
Sounds about right.
I didn't know there's more than a regular Twitch subscription.
There's not. I'm being dumb.
Oh, okay. So like, are we up now? Are we
Yeah,
good?
I guess
I
so.
still have 0 frames dropped in OBS. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what
And I got
happened.
green lights.
I don't know what
Okay.
happened. We're good. We're
It
here.
did go red though.
Oh hey, hi people.
And
We're back.
I'm not editing this out either.
You're not. Oh, okay. Just leave it in the.
Oh,
we
well.
we kept talking in the audio, but you wouldn't be able to record it anymore.
No.
Yeah, because VOD shut down.
All right. Well, I'll make sure I'm hardwired next week, or if it happens again, I'll hardwire immediately.
You
I'll
good?
just walk away and hardwire.
You good? So anyway, we're talking about the
Anyway.
fact that both Tech and I gave it a C, Ben gave it a liminal B plus A minus, and Ryan gave it a B solid. And where do we want to start the discussion? Tech, you were on the verge of starting into something, and I apologize for asking you to start that over because I have literally no idea where you were going with it.
I would.
Well, I was gonna actually take it to the overall impressions, like we gave the score, and I love giving the score first because it kind of locks you into your perspective. What is your overall impression of the new edit? Now we can talk about Joss Whedon versus Zack Snyder. What is your overall impressions of the thing they gave us?
So
I haven't seen the first part. I haven't seen the
that's nice.
Josh
You've got
Whedon,
this
so
is
I've
your
only
first
seen
take.
this. Yeah,
Oh,
I've only
interesting.
seen.
I feel like you're lucky.
I kind of like that.
Am I?
You're super lucky,
Yeah.
my dude.
You
because
son
here's
of a
the deal.
bitch.
You're super lucky because here's the deal. Like the Joss Whedon cut was such a low bar that I feel like Snyder could have almost done anything. If it was different, it would have been better. Right? Like it's hard comparing the two for me because the original was so blech.
It was harder for me because I just didn't have this like perfect memory of the original, but I do feel like the overall tone was just completely different, and this felt more like Zach. It felt more like Watchmen to me.
Sure.
Yeah, I definitely bought the first Justice League because I buy all comic book movies because I'm that much of a comic book like fanatic, like movie fanatic. And it's I mean overall it's better. It's basically taking a turd and putting liquid gold on it and letting it solidify and shaving it, making it nice and shiny. And like, and then putting on display and say, this is and a big turd, like making it more of a turd, like it's a big 4-hour turd.
This is
And,
le
like,
turd
this-
polish.
This is literally, I mean, it's, so if any one of you guys put out a song, right? And this is your best song that you've ever done, albeit you've never done a song before. This is your best effort. And then I take it and remix it, it would be better no matter what I do. Because I know what I'm doing. I've been making music for years.
Sure.
And that's what Zack Snyder did. He had all the money and all the time to take this piece of shit and make it better.
It's interesting
I
though
feel like
because
any
go ahead, my bad. Go
person
ahead.
could have done that.
Sure.
I feel like any director, writer could have done what he did because the original material was so trash that all he had to do was put a little
I already had.
little spit on it.
I heard there was 6 hours of content to begin with. That was all cut, and Joss didn't use most of it. We're
Oh,
gonna
yeah, a
get
lot
into
of
this later,
movies,
but the
yeah.
cyborg story being completely cut is fucking heartbreaking.
The way
But
I'm not gonna ever get over how they did Ray Fisher.
right, exactly. But to my point, I don't think what we have is a redo as much as this is what it was originally intended.
Sure.
You know, like all that footage was mostly there, most of it, and they did some re-edits. You know, so Cavill's face didn't look so funky with a fake mustache, and you know, and there's a couple of new scenes that cost $80 million, but and a lot of CG. Holy fuck!
So
But
much.
yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I think the old turd was flushed, and this is more like the chef getting back into the kitchen with the same ingredients that he used on the original meal. It just feels like a new meal to me, and
With slow motion.
lots of slow motion, lots and lots and lots of slow motion. Which my favorite justification of it is I'm a very slow reader, but I'm even slower reader in comics, and I read comics in slow mo. Every frame in a comic book is a still shot, so I'm shooting a comic book movie in slow mo kind of fits for me. And in fact, that I wish kind of more movies maybe don't do it this much, but do it a little more. I think if that Thanos fight with Cap had a few moments that slowed down just a little bit, not this much, but just a little in the highlight moments, like the uppercut or stuff like just a few freeze moments, it would really exemplify. Like in Ultron, when they're all going through the forest and then they all line up, which was in the new Black Widow trailer.
Perfect.
You know, and it goes doo, whoop, and then it slows up. Right, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, it makes it feel like a comic book, and I think
But see,
Snyder does that. But
the problem with the Snyder cut is when Lois Lane puts a cup of coffee on the barricade, police barricade, they slow it down. Why the fuck did you slow it down? Because that takes away from the energy of the other slowdown moment.
You got to get that Starbucks start time, my dude.
I
hear you.
I think
Gotta get that sponsor
That's
money.
star
this
power.
might have been a 2-hour movie without all the slow mo.
I think it was like 20 minutes of slow mo,
Yeesh.
Damn.
like total. That's a lot.
It's quite a bit.
Like,
Okay,
they had one slow mo of a dude just looking up at the sky, but like nothing happening.
Why were they slow mo and him looking at a glizzy like that? He's like,
yeah, it was a glizzy.
There are 24 minutes
unnecessary.
and 7 seconds.
just
slow-mo.
like what
That's a
the
lot
fuck?
in a 4-hour movie. That's
you
unnecessary.
said 24 minutes.
Yeah,
Ugh.
breaking this down further with credits, the movie's full runtime is 4 hours, 1 minute, 50 seconds, meaning that 10% of the film is in slow motion.
Damn.
Yeah, it used it, but honestly, okay, 4 hours is a long time for a movie. They clearly, I feel like, they use slow motion in a sense to kind of keep the content level up. I guess I feel it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
It
was unnecessary.
I have questions about the 4-hour movie.
Just real quick, I just want to say, when I watched it, I thought to myself, I would not mind more 4-hour movies. Go ahead.
I mean, people watched all the Lord of the Rings, and there's like 6 of those movies, and
Nobody
they're
complained
all
about-
a
well,
minimum of 4.
That's true. People love to complain about those, but
Yeah.
There's also
You
a
can't-
huge difference between the two, right?
But you can't complain about a villain being underdeveloped if it's only an hour and a half long. But 4 hours, I felt like Steppenwolf was developed.
Yep.
The villainy was developed finally, which is a problem that MCU had. They fixed it, but MCU had it for a long time, and DC's always had. They never.
So is
they
it
never
a-
developed the villain?
So is it technically a problem? Because you did just say you can't complain about a villain being underdeveloped if the movie's only 90 minutes long. So every
Well, that's
other
why- that's-
normal length movie with a bad villain is just because the movie's too short?
The only reason why MCU fixed their problems because they spread Tom Hiddleston out over movies. That's the only reason. That's when they started having good villains. When they actually like
stop killing them.
incorporated into more and more stories. So the runtime in movies were longer.
I would argue that their first good villain was Killmonger. One movie.
No, the first real villain that you connected to, fuck what anyone says. I would die on this hill is Loki. Your first villain you love is Loki.
Sure, but he's not like cut and dry a villain, right? So it's a little
Exactly,
it's a
'cause
little
none of them
tough.
are.
Well,
Neither was Killmonger.
Sure.
Neither was Thanos.
sure. But I'm just pointing out that like
neither was Ultron.
I'm just pointing out that like you can have a 90-minute, 2-hour movie, even 2.5-hour movie with a good villain. That's
If you make
what's
the
well
movie about
fleshed
the
out.
villain, Heath Ledger Joker. But if you just have an hour and a half movie that's a superhero movie, if you're not focusing on the villain, you're not going to be able to flush the villain out.
Sure. So I think the issue with the OG Justice League is that they didn't give a fuck about their villain,
No.
which they could have, and he could have been good. Ultron
Yeah,
is
it's-
as big a deal as Steppenwolf if you would have put them next to each other. Ultron gets one movie, and from the first minute, you're like, this dude's got gravitas. It
Well-
makes sense. And then like, it just didn't kick off like that.
What was the actor who played Steppenwolf?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
No, yeah, no, I know shit, dude. I know 100%. 100%. James Spader is a fucking hanging fastball that you just get to knock out of the park because he's great every time.
Like he was CGI the whole movie, and it was an honor for them people to work with him, and they would tell you that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like in that capacity.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's James fucking Spader.
No, sorry, this guy's a phenomenal actor. They got Syrian Hines to play Steppenwolf.
No, they
have to tell me who that is.
didn't. Hold
They
on.
they fucked that up if who is he?
He was Caesar in the HBO series Rome. He was the king beyond the wall in Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
He was the bad guy in one of the
Oh, my
Ghost
internet's
Rider
shitting
movies.
itself.
Yeah, he's an incredible actor.
He's very good.
I think the new Steppenwolf was incredibly well done. He was he
Way
had a-
better. Yeah.
He had an objective. He was like that abused like middle manager trying to like, get the attention of the higher ups, but kept being sent on these bullshit errands to So I just and he had those weird little eyes that made him kind of look like a victim. So he just looked like he was just trying so hard all the time to please everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. So the reason I wanted to bring up the question of the 4-hour movie is that there are like rules, and they're not strict rules. I know, I'm not trying to make that point.
Just hold on. Stream is down.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh.
It just so happened to lag while he was gone.
No,
I
I
think
think
that
he
might
got
have-
up and left because of it.
Heck, the stream is down.
Yep, nothing I can do about it.
And it's back up.
That's crazy. It's just cycling off, on and off.
No, I feel pity for the person that has to edit all this together, but
That's me.
oh, okay.
It's bizarre.
Mine's up.
Yeah, it's back up.
I'm at 270 megabytes per second. So when it goes down, there's no rhyme or reason to it going down. It's just going down.
Yeah, we're just hitting some sort of
Fluctuating.
gap / wall / whatever.
All right. Well, the next episode, this won't happen. So
Okay. I can.
Keep push on. Keep struggling on.
I'm gonna start recording on my end, just so we have a one audio file. Yes. Sound
Yeah,
good?
smart.
Yes.
All right. Start.
Yeah, I'm
recording.
266 down and 190 up.
Yeah, I think whenever it fluctuates, the stream just gives up. It's really aggravating.
It's okay.
Let me make sure.
I'm gonna get a 100-foot Ethernet cable. I'm ordering it right now. It'll be here in 2 days. I'll have it for next stream.
Perfect. So what I was saying before we cut off again is the question I wanted to ask about the 4-hour stream, the 4-hour movie, is like we kind of have. I don't know. I started to say rules earlier. That doesn't sound right, but I think that like needing 4 hours to tell a good story is not a sign of a good storyteller.
I don't think it's a sign of a bad one though either.
No, I'm not saying that it is a sign of a bad one, but like it just felt like a lot of stuff was trying to be done here that really didn't need to be in one movie. But it
Like what?
was because
Can
it
you
was
think of anything in particular?
Martian Manhunter.
Martian
was one.
Manhunter is like, okay, cool. You
But
threw
it's
him in
got
there.
2 minutes of film time. Is there anything of significant size?
But see, like
But
they
why
dedicate
introduce him and not use him when the end of the world is happening?
Right.
and they
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and you military.
Well, because Zach has 2 and 3 planned. That's why.
Also, hold the phone. Hold the phone. I think I might have just made a realization. I think I might have just made a fucking realization.
Talk your shit.
The dude that Martian Manhunter turns into,
Yeah.
the general,
He's in the rest of them.
The general.
is the
yeah.
dude from Man of Steel. Okay.
Yeah.
He's dude from and Man of Steel. He was actually the dude from Matrix as well.
Yeah, but I
What?
mean, he's got a role in the
From
trilogy.
Matrix.
Yeah, he's from Matrix
No,
too, right?
no.
Yeah. Yes.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
Yes, he
was
is.
the
Oh, he's the dude
the
in
general
Zion.
from
Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar. Oh, Zion.
Yeah.
I said Nebuchadnezzar.
The
Zion,
Nebuchadnezzar is the ship he's on, right?
Oh, that's Morpheus.
That's
ship, isn't
Morpheus'
it?
ship. This guy's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a Zion captain or something.
Yeah, he's the like leader
Yeah.
of Zion. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's the first time I recognized him.
Yep.
So I
He's
was
got a
like,
very
oh, he's
distinct
lit.
voice.
Yep. He's in
He sounds
Black-
like Lance
he's in-
Henriksen. He's very
He's in Blacklist.
distinct.
He's great.
Um,
Just realized that for the first time.
But yeah, so the fact that somebody who's been threaded through the DCU already and I think people hinted at it as much back in the day that he could possibly be him. Now the fact that he is, I think that was great. And Caleb texted me when it happened. He said he was
it was
shocked.
very good. It was
Yeah.
very good. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like for 4 hours, I just so much like Cyborg should have gotten his own movie.
It felt like a cyborg
Or
movie.
what?
It felt like a cyborg movie.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But like they call it Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
And like the big point about group team up movies is that it's about the group team up. And like Wonder Woman does kind of one thing this whole fucking movie, and
She
it's
got- she got-
completely
but she's-
inconsequential.
She's got
He got smurfed.
2 movies of her own, guys.
That doesn't
Yeah,
that
but it
doesn't mean
matter, though.
anything.
So
Just
does-
because
so
Iron
does
Man had
Henry Cavill.
just because Iron Man had 2 movies doesn't mean Iron Man doesn't have to do anything in the Avengers.
But he didn't
Just
have
because
any
Thor
character
had-
development moments in the Avengers.
Yes,
as
he did.
much.
A side note.
Not as much as his
you
own
hear what
movies.
Joss Whedon. You hear that Joss Whedon threatened Gal Gadot today? It came out in the news that Joss Whedon threatened her, said, "I will make you insignificant in Justice League if you don't do what I say," or some Joss Whedon shit.
Weird.
Fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
She just doesn't do anything.
She had a very cool sequence. That I
The
thought
intro is
like,
incredible.
Maybe
That's the
maybe one
only
of the
thing she
best
does in the
sequences
whole
that she's
movie.
been in.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that.
I mean, her fighting wasn't bad though. Like she showed that she was a significant like fight against Steppenwolf. Like the entire movie, every time she was knocking him down, she was doing aggressive things that like the other ones couldn't do exactly.
I
Like
feel like
so,
she got punched
she
around just
definitely
as
held her
much
own.
as she got punched around just as much as Aquaman.
I
So
I would
sure, she's
I would
involved.
prefer my heroes to actually show some sort of weakness. I don't want them fucking walking all over. Honestly, like Superman would just like, hey, fuck you, you ain't doing shit, and just fucking walked over him like that. Like I get it, it's fucking Superman, but like, damn, dude, like
But I
this
mean, he
is
died in the last movie though, so
right,
we
right.
just saw a major weakness.
He died in this
Right,
movie
yeah.
too. He died in this
Yeah.
movie too.
The death. But I feel what you're saying though, but also like technically on paper, Wonder Woman and Superman are cheat codes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're plot devices used to take out the hardest person.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
again
they're-
though, but like assuming that Superman's overpowered is assuming you can solve every problem by punching it.
No,
So if you
that's true,
guys.
put Superman into a story and make him unstoppable, then you didn't have a good enough problem for Superman to have to solve.
but Superman was not the problem. He wasn't around till the final act. Superman was the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
He wasn't around for a problem to be solved. And Superman's real
Superman was
problem,
the plot device.
Superman's real problem, and a good Superman writer knows that Superman could kill you if he sneezes. So Superman's real
Right.
problem is that every time he punches a bad guy and doesn't freaking liquefy him, is him
So
showing
that-
restraint. So that's his superpower. That's
Unless it's a god like Steppenwolf.
right. In which case
His
he's called
his
in.
Superpower is being a small boy from Kansas. That's his superpower.
Right. Is showing
With
restraint.
unlimited power.
His restraint is his
Sure.
superpower.
He doesn't show any
No, that's-
restraint in this
that's-
movie though.
Doesn't have to. He shows up at the end and wins the battle for
Okay,
them.
hear me out though. In terms of like writing a good story with good plot wrap up, introducing a god that just solves everything is called Deus Ex Machina. It's an
Uh-huh.
old mechanic used in
Yeah.
plays,
Okay.
and people generally hated it because you had all this build up and then some fucking dude just comes in and it's over. So all the
Well, they did the
build up
same
felt
thing
like
with
it was for
Endgame.
nothing.
They did the same thing with Endgame and Captain Marvel, and they that Captain whole movie just so we can feel okay about it. Like so, it happens.
But Captain Marvel didn't win
But
the
I feel
day.
I mean, but she turned the tides,
She
even
didn't
though
ruin it.
Scarlet Witch should have turned the tides. I will say this: I feel like Joss Whedon did a better build up towards the moment that Superman comes back,
I disagree completely.
and I think he did it because he put more stress on that decision to try to bring Superman back from the dead, and I feel like that was stronger in the Whedon version than Snyder version. Snyder version's kind of brushed through it and everyone's on the same page until like one or two lines of we shouldn't do this.
Right.
And I feel like that was a heavy plot point they were like foreshadowing, like Superman will save the day.
I think the moment where they were all standing around the mother box and they all made the same conclusion, but nobody would say it. I thought that whole scene was much more, all the build up to that and that scene and everything after was much more thought out this time than it was before. I feel like everything leading up to Superman coming back now was more articulate than before. I feel like everything before was just a blur. It was so fast, things happened so
I
quickly.
feel like they argued before they even like Wonder Woman was like, don't do this, and Aquaman was like, don't do this. Like people aren't the same when they come back. I feel like the friction between the decision to bring Superman back was so much greater in Joss Whedon's version. Because like that's not a decision that you would even make passively, and they made it passively in Snyder Cut.
Yeah, there were arguments, right? Like there were people saying don't do it, but
The Aquaman was against it the entire time.
Not really though.
but
Like,
do
not
any of their like protests mean anything? Like it doesn't
'cause
matter how much
ultimately
they
it's
fucking
Batman
argued.
saved.
It
Wait a minute,
was
not-
never going.
Tech, you said not really. He said no right before Flash traveled through time at the very end.
Yeah.
He was against it the whole
No,
time.
but he was like last minute. But like
No, it was the
when
whole
they
time.
were in the Batcave, when they were in the Batcave, he wasn't tripping.
Yeah, he was.
But in Josh Whedon's version, they argued in the
No,
Batcave.
it was the whole time, man. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
he.
Nah, man.
I literally just got done watching it. He was definitely. Whenever they were
So you're-
around the table, he was saying this is not a good idea. Like
Sarge,
we shouldn't be doing
Are
this.
you telling me right? The friction and the arguments weren't harder in Josh Whedon's version.
hasn't
seen
seen
Joss
Joss
before they
Whedon's
even
version.
got to the ship.
So I didn't see Josh Whedon's, but like
That's
but,
right.
but the arguments in Snyder Cut wasn't hard. It wasn't like a
They were
stop
very
the
passive
it wasn't like a
compared to-
stop the conversation. Like, I'm telling you right now, don't fucking do this. It wasn't one of those like getting more aggressive like people do in actual arguments where they like start to raise their voice. But like he did,
It-
Aquaman was very firm on it. Like he had said it in the round table where they were talking about it. He said it multiple times in the ship before they right before they did it. So he was his side of it was definitely no. But
all right,
not
but in the Josh Whedon version, just so you know, they were Cyborg and Flash were digging up the grave, and Flash was like, "This isn't a mistake, is it?" Like they were like, "It was." And,
like
and
eating them
Wonder
up.
Woman before they in the Batcave, she was like, we shouldn't play gods or some shit." Like they were literally, everyone was literally pushing back at one point in the Joss Whedon version, but in the Snyder version, only the person I noticed was Aquaman who pushed back at all. And I felt like, maybe because it was been a few weeks and it was 4 hours long, I don't remember every part of it, but I felt like his was later in the conversation. And in the initial idea of bringing it up, everyone was like, "Yeah, let's do this shit."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a question about this entire plot device. Why the fuck does anybody say it's not a good idea?
Because you shouldn't, because you, in the same sense that like you shouldn't play God, and killing someone is the same as bringing someone back from the dead, is playing God. So like,
what
these
if
people shouldn't
Lois
be doing
didn't show
this.
up?
Right.
Let's just put it this way. What if Lois wasn't there?
Right.
He would have just annihilated all of them and then be like, well, what happened?
But see, this is kind of my point with this movie, is that like they say you shouldn't do this, it's real bad. Or Steppenwolf's gonna end the world, or Darkseid's gonna show up, right? And then like there's the solutions that pop up are like it's almost like Lady Luck's like, no, you're okay, don't worry about it. Lois Lane's just gonna happen to be here right now, and the fight's gonna stop.
Two things.
She was there every day.
Diana's 3,000 years old. She might know a little bit more than you and me. So whatever, right? She might know about some sort of cosmic, world-ending, human nature sort of like this is we're messing with gods, right? She's basically a god.
Sure.
Right. Second thing, when Flash I love this part about the movie so much, the fact that they tied back to the fact that Flash went back in time to tell Bruce that Lois is the key.
Had nothing to do with this movie.
How not?
Because the epilogue, when they're sitting outside the city, when it's fucking apocalypse, that's when that is important. Because right in that scene, Joker goes, "Who would have thought it would all come down to Lois Lane?" That's why Flash tells Batman about Lois. It has nothing to do with this movie.
That's a different timeline.
No, it's in the future. It's supposed to be in the future.
No, Flash stopped that timeline, and when Flash went back in time to repair the mother box, that dirty future is a different timeline. That's why we've got a multiple timeline now, because Flash went back in time. Flash created that timeline where he's got body armor and the Joker's teaming up with Batman. That's
all of
different.
this. Okay, all of this taken into account. Batman didn't get Lois. She showed up in a fucking taxi cab. Batman didn't bring Lois to this fight to save them. She just showed up because she was in the area when he came out of the fucking ceiling, and she was like,
"Yeah, you're right. Okay, you're
right."
She
drove back.
That's true. Yep.
So like they all argue about not
too.
bringing Superman back to life when we all know, we've watched superhero movies, we all know that's gonna work. So none of their arguments held any weight. It was like, yeah, cool, okay, don't bring him back, but he's obviously.
But Ryan's got a point. If Lois wasn't there, he already killed a bunch of police officers. It would have gotten much worse.
But that's the point. She was there. I'm like talking about how good a movie could be if something different happened is weird. The problem is that Lois did show up out of nowhere and saved the day.
I've got a problem with this. Everybody argues about why a movie did this XYZ. If they just took an eagle in Lord of the Rings and dropped the ring in the mountain, the movie would be 10 minutes long, right? Things happen because they happen, and you have to respect whatever. That's the way it was written.
So stop
That's the way the
saying
movie took place.
So stop saying what happens if Lois doesn't show up. It literally doesn't matter.
No. I know. But your question was, why is it not such a big deal that like that they were saying, oh, why should we bring him back?
He was
they don't know. they don't know in the fucking movie that Lois is going to show up. Like the
Right.
characters of the movie,
No, I get
they're
that.
they're
And he was
literally
proving
living
their
this.
point. And he was proving their point. This is why we shouldn't have brought him back. We're not going
Yeah,
to survive
like he
this.
was whooping the shit out of him because
Right.
he didn't know who he was, but luckily this is a movie and Lois shows up at the right time to save the fucking day. So the characters have no idea what's going to happen, so they're saying this is a bad idea. If it's the actor going like this is going to be a great idea, like okay, that's fine. So your question of why are they why are they saying this is going to be a bad idea? Because they don't know what the fuck's going to happen. We as viewers
Did
do.
happen.
Right, but to me, what happens in this movie takes all of the stakes out of it. Hearing them say we shouldn't do this, and then Superman coming back in, yes, trying to kill them, but then them not solving it being solved for them, kind of sucks. Also,
Most
them
superhero movies-
absolutely losing to Steppenwolf,
Mhm.
and then Superman showing up and it being fine mostly. It kind of
Yeah.
sucks. And then also
I have a
the
problem with that
world
too.
just getting destroyed and Flash traveling through time is cool because it's the Justice League fucking solving it.
Mhm.
But like Superman showing up because they're gonna lose and all of a sudden we're gonna win now. It's a bunch of Deus
You got to
Exes
give it a
that,
little bit
like-
of credit that the Flash was mostly getting it done until he got shot, and he was rising above it. Come on, just do it. There was that whole build-up moment, so they
Also,
were
how
kind
did
of pulling it
Flash
off.
get shot? He moves so fast. He
Luck.
should have seen that bullet coming
Luck.
and been like, "I'm gonna move." Like, how does a bullet hit him? How does a giant
A
red
dog-
beam hit him?
A broken clock is right twice a day. It's luck.
They were shooting in the
This whole-
same spot
this-
the entire time, waiting for
this
that shot to
whole-
hit.
This
Yeah.
whole movie amounts to luck to me.
If that's a
They got
laser
lucky.
beam,
That's not
if
bad.
that was a laser beam, then it's traveling the same speed that Flash is. It's the speed of light.
They're not moving the speed of light though, Ben. They're not. Batman dodges them. They're not laser
But you know what?
beams. They're plasma
Honestly,
bolts.
The fact that Batman survived an
Yep.
alien attack,
Yep.
who's literally they literally travel to take over planets.
Yeah.
And he survived that. Penance is one of the aliens getting lucky and hitting Flash. Like you have to allow that. Like mentally, you have
Sure.
to allow the fact that he got lucky and hit a good shot.
But
Batman should have died when he showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah, immediately.
Right.
he
Yeah.
should have died in
A
a plane crash. Like,
Yeah.
this is a normal
30
human
sec-
being.
yeah.
We should have.
But if-
we
but if
need to
Flash
really be
doesn't get-
careful about what we argue about here.
But if Flash doesn't get shot, like Superman isn't needed.
True.
But I like the fact
So like
that
Superman
he, like,
showing up
very,
is because it just feels really hollow to me. Like most of it just
Hold on a
kind of
second.
feels
Hold on.
like there's
Hold
a.
on. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear you. We're good.
It might have shit itself again.
Stream's
It's good-
still up.
It's good so far.
Yeah, still.
I have
Is it?
a something I'd like to bring up with both Caleb and Tech. Tech, when the movie came out and we all watched it, you said everybody needs to see this. And then a week
I
later,
do.
you give it a C. That's not a movie I'm going to tell
Yes.
anybody to see. Second,
But-
Caleb, when that came out, you said this is actually good. I feel weird about this. And now,
Yeah.
you're kind of shitting all over it. Like it's not worth watching. Like it's full of holes. Like none of this makes sense. Like it's a
It has a lot
MacGuffin.
of problems.
It's full of MacGuffins. It's full of Deus Ex. Like, how did both
not
of
gonna
you?
I feel
not
weird
gonna be
about it. Was my
romanticized.
immediate response after it's kind of good. Kinda.
I'm not gonna be
No,
It's a C.
romanticized by the
You didn't
times.
say- okay, I'm sorry for my parlance, but you didn't say kind of good. You were enamored. You were like, why? I feel uncomfortable at how good this is. You said,
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah,
but that's not a C,
Great.
guys.
Yeah, Josh Whedon got an F.
here's the thing.
That's a
Here's
C.
the
Is
thing.
a C is a restaurant you never go back to.
That's
No,
not true.
I go back. I go to C's.
That's not
You,
true.
Ben, you eat Taco Bell. You go to C's.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Also, like it's
Why are you
kind of
yelling
good. It's kind of
No.
it's kind of it's
Aaron's like,
kind of
"What are you
good.
doing?"
You
Mine
said,
is
I
kinda
hate that I
good.
like this. Manhunter is
Yeah.
incredible. Mangiano, whatever you say. Deathstroke is amazing. Like,
I'll tell
you
you
were
this.
gushing.
The
I'll tell you
two
this
the
much.
two things I said I liked right there that you read is a non-consequential Manhunter and a sequel
You
setup
said,
that's
I
never gonna
hate,
fucking
you said
happen.
that I hate that I like this. You
Yes,
like
I
this.
do hate that I like it because
That's
I enjoyed
not a
that.
C.
I enjoy Ben. That was a sentence, and we're getting into a podcast discussion about that. I like the action in this movie largely, but I still have tremendously huge problems about this. The thing that made me feel weird is that for some reason I like this movie more than I felt like I should because I understood all of these things that just don't make any fucking sense throughout the whole movie.
So with WandaVision, y'all got mad at me because I was like, so when Wanda took down the walls and everything was over, how come she didn't get arrested? It's because it's a movie, Caleb.
No, that's too practical. And she's and like, all right, remember
Nobody's going to be able to arrest her, but
who's gonna check her?
Right? No,
Who
no,
gonna
I
stop
get
me?
that, but like,
Who gonna stop
but
me?
it's a movie.
Your guns,
Exactly.
your Glock?
Exactly. It's a movie.
Your government issue Glock gonna stop me? I just changed reality for 3,000 people.
Right.
What the fuck is your Glock gonna do? Dude?
We have
But it's
to-
a movie.
Well, okay, I have a slight beef with that. Things have to make sense, even if it's a movie. Like, you either check your brain at the door and you're watching King Kong vs. Godzilla and it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Or
Mortal Kombat, because that's what
probably,
happened to us.
right? Or we nitpick the finer aspects of Infinity War and Endgame. Like, it all has to fit into place. Like the MCU, I hate to bring it up in a DCU a conversation, but you know, they did such a great job of interconnecting everything to the point that there was a photographer in the first Captain America movie, and in Falcon and Winter Soldier, there's a picture from that photographer from 15 years ago. Ridiculous, right? So we don't have that. Probably never going to have that. But at some point, we have to Lord of the Rings this and say this is how it happened because it did, and you know, push some of the conversations into that column. And on the other side, we have to see like if it makes sense as a movie. This is what I always talk about, and we don't have to go down this road because it's a fucking sandpit, but it's the objective quality thing, right? Like, is this objectively good storytelling? Does it make sense? A movie is a movie, sure, but you have certain checkboxes you have to do for your average viewer to read it, watch it, and go, yeah, that's, you know, good, bad, or otherwise. So things do have to make sense. There are like I said, you go to film school, you learn how to write a script, right? You don't break the 180 rule when people are having conversations. Like, there's rules to filmmaking, so you have to make sure these checkboxes are checked to tell a good story. So what I think we're running into with this conversation is this a stylistic thing? Is this taking the Eagles to Mordor kind of thing? Is this bad? I hate to go down this road because so few of us have these sort of criteria to say, you know, what bad filmmaking is, because we're just a bunch of bros, you know. But like, you know, are these mistakes actually bad? Is this bad storytelling?
Okay,
you know what I mean?
As consumers, we have the ability to say that story's bad, right? Like, I am 39 years old. I've been consuming things on a conscious level since 9 years old. I can say like that doesn't make sense. I've literally have 30 years of consuming things that should make sense.
Yes, sure.
So if a story is written poorly, as someone who read books, watches television, watches movies, reads comics, every medium of a story.
You didn't like my qualification statement.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
I can say from experience, from my own personal experience, if something doesn't make sense. As someone who's read, right? Like stories from good and bad authors.
Sure.
So does Justice League make sense? Josh, no. Snyder, maybe a little bit more. Maybe. But I can change that too. I can say when I watched it initially, oh, this is amazing. There's a lot of hype in the first week of something.
That's true.
A lot of hype.
That's true.
A lot of mental fucking stimulation, a mental evidence, proof, backing to say like, oh, this is dope. Everyone thinks it's dope. But if I really critically think about it, 4 hours, you kind of made a lot of mistakes. I should be allowed to say that.
Yeah, of course you are.
You know? Yeah.
You know what would be? I don't want to try and fix the movie. Never mind.
I think we all should maybe say one thing that maybe would make it better. Why not?
No, I think this movie was awesome. I think it was. But can I ask you a
but
serious,
Taco Bell
serious
awesome,
question?
not
looking. I'm looking into you guys' windows of your soul right now.
I'm a ginger. I don't have one.
It's kind of dark in there.
You don't.
Jesus.
Can you see my? I'm looking at the camera. Can you? Will you watch this movie in its entirety again?
No.
Took me 3 weeks to watch it once.
I will. For sure.
I would if I had the
never
time.
watch this movie.
You'll never watch it
Watch
again.
this movie again. I can't.
Not all the way through. No.
Oh, well, okay. Knowing about me, what I never sit still for 4 hours. So, and I didn't sit still for 4 hours this time. I watched it in 2 chunks, and it was fine. I feel like I could have watched it in maybe 3 chunks. But so for me personally, it's very hard for me to sit still that long. That aside, I will watch either the whole thing or chunks or parts of it in the future. I know I will because I liked it. Because Kim and I watched the MCU every couple of years, and we watched the DCEU last year over 2020. Like, we do these things. We watch the things we like on, and
So do you,
I
you
mean,
see yourself in the future being like, let's watch that.
Yeah.
That's Snyder cut.
absolutely. When Flash, excuse me, we haven't talked about the finer points. We sort of went right onto the neg train, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Right when the Flash turns out of his shoes
Great moment.
and
Great
pushes his
moment.
finger through the window, I was as enamored. I was out of my mind. I couldn't be happier. And we put the hot dog in his pocket. Hilarious. I loved it. He was the highlight of the movie for me.
You like that? You like the hot dog in the pocket?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
You like the glizzy in the pocket?
Yeah.
The glizzy.
I didn't like the subplot of Cyborg like tweaking humanity's financials to his own whims. That was kind of weird. But although by and large his
I don't think it was a subplot. I think it was like you are Cyborg. You have this power over humanity, which is a facet of Cyborg that no one's really ever thought about outside of fanatics. But he literally can do whatever he wants to do, but he chooses not to because he's a good person.
Mhm.
He's a good person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Please don't abbreviate that ever again.
Hey, bro, you a good person.
You got
Only
parts.
reason I fixed it is because Chris D'Elia is canceled, and that was his saying. He was like, "Oh, because I'm a good person."
Well, I mean, that means he can't have it anymore. So you got it now.
That's right. Take it back.
There you go.
Wait, he just started his podcast again, so I don't know if he's canceled anymore. I think he's back.
But
Plot twist, he's back.
yeah, I think Batman being the Batman we loved, the Batfleck that we love, pulling his own weight was great. Side note, I hated all his vehicles. I hated
His
all of his.
spider
I hated
crawler?
all of his tech. I hated the dropship. I hated the tank. His Batmobiles.
I felt
Batmobiles
it was
all right.
more realistic. I thought it was the reason I thought it was more realistic because it was more fallible than other tech.
That's true.
In other Batman movies, right? Because like he's not gonna be able to get a government issue tank. He's not. You're not gonna like slide that under the radar. And I felt like it was romanticized in other movies. So like he was working on a plane that he really couldn't get to work.
Yeah.
And like the NASA's best couldn't get to work, and like Cyborg got it to work, obviously. But like I felt like that was more realistic, as far as like that was a good touch.
That was a great touch.
Batman
I
is
like
like-
that. Yeah. I just
But
didn't like
but
the
it's
design. I
like-
didn't like the look of it. It just looked
His
like large.
steam-powered freaking spider from Wild Wild West that came out of there. I was like, what the hell's going on here, dude?
Everything's so massive
Will
and
Smith in the back.
everything's so massive and blocky, and I don't know. I didn't care for it.
Like, why does he have these things?
Yeah.
What was he going to use them for?
Yeah, what are you prepared
You don't
for?
But also like, like I don't know, the whole Batman is always prepared thing. I
Sure.
like that a lot.
Yep.
And like he doesn't know what he has to fight, but he knows that if this is the level it's at, it has to go to this level as well.
Batman theoretically
So I
could
kinda
take
like
down
that.
the Justice League. He's like that's his thing.
So
Like,
was Batman's gauntlets for Superman
Yeah.
intended for him?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't fought these guys at all
Oh, yeah.
before the gauntlets were made.
Yeah.
But they were already made and prepared, even though they didn't withstand up to Superman's
Yeah,
eyesight.
that's all part of it. But he's got Krypton gloves.
yeah.
He's got kryptonite gloves and everything.
I knew all that, but I was just thinking about. I was like, damn, he hadn't met these guys before he made the gauntlets.
He'd met Superman.
Speaking of prepared for the future,
Well, yeah.
can I give you guys a super side note that has nothing to do with DC or Batman? There's a thing going around that Ultron knew about Thanos because he had the abilities of the stone, the same stone that Vision had, that Wanda was birthed from. So he knew about Thanos, and that's what he was guarding for. Like he was literally aiming to fix humanity to stop Thanos.
Oh wow.
There's a whole fun theory that's kind of amazing. That was a complete side note.
My fan theory deep dives have been sort of hamstrung since none of them came true for Wanda. So I'm a little jaded.
But
a
look,
little
but
more careful.
he
about
shot down,
messing-
yeah.
If you look through Age of Ultron, he says a lot of things that are like bigger than what's happening with Earth.
Mhm.
Right.
eventually happened that Tony Stark had to fight.
That's great. No, I don't put it past. See, here's the thing, right? I don't put it past Marvel at all to be setting up all these things. So,
Yeah.
I'll let that
The-
speak for itself.
The one thing I would fix from the Snyder cut, I watch these movies and I enjoy them. Like, I almost wanted to give this an A just because I'm one of those consumers that likes the action. I don't sit
fun,
there
right?
and nitpick like the tiny things.
Yeah.
But the tiny thing that fucking bothered me was every time Wonder Woman came on screen, it goes, hi.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, yeah.
every time I'm like, but nobody else has theme music. Like, come on now, guys. Like,
It's like they found out that music can be an Easter egg.
yes.
So like they're running with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if I do these 3 notes every single time, it's an Easter egg. And like I think they're like dipping into the pot too much.
They say Amazon like, hi. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
We get it.
It's almost as if they know that some people will be looking away from the screen because they're bored, and
She's
but they
back.
like Wonder Woman, so they'll hear her music. Watch again. Here she is.
If I ever watch that with my kid, she's gonna be like, "Oh my god, there she is again."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
One of the besides Batman's tech, I love Batfleck almost entirely, but besides the tech, I thought I understand some of the sci-fi or some of the slow-mo was gratuitous, but I largely didn't care for the most part. Just sort of like watching an international like art movie. It does a lot of things different than Western movies do, or if you watch a Japanese movie, like some of it's kind of hard to swallow for your standard American viewer. They do things differently. People scream a lot more. They kind of overact. It's a lot more like theater, right? Like when you watch the original Godzilla, it's like this is kind of hard to watch. So or you watch a French art house film and there's shots where the camera doesn't freaking move, and you're just looking at a coffee cup for 2 minutes. So that's art, that's film, whatever, right? So the sci-fi the slow-mo didn't really bother me that much. But what did bother me is how many like vocalized songs he used for the slow-mo, like just to get that like mood in. That really bothered me, right? Like when Flash did go into slow-mo and they used that like remix track. I don't know the song, but I recognized it, and they did that like 3 times. During the most emotional parts, they'd use this song with lyrics, and I don't know. That always rubs me wrong. James Gunn's the only one that can do that right, as far as I'm concerned.
So far,
Flash's run in the
got a
first
mess
slow
over.
mo is really weird too. I don't know if anybody else
his,
knows
his,
it.
like-
his slow-mo run's really weird.
Like
I've
the first
analyzed
time you
it,
see it,
right?
though, it's like like what the hell?
Track runners do not tense up their arms when they run. People who run really fast cannot run fast if their arms are tense.
Right.
You know what he?
No,
Kinda
I'm
makes sense.
talking
You know what he
about like
framed
his long strides, like his
Yeah.
first 2 long strides in the pet store are just like really fucking weird. Like it just doesn't sync up as like a normal run, like especially like you starting out a run.
Here's what I noticed in the pet store scene. He was tiptoeing.
Yeah.
And it's like he stopped time. And to me, being a bit of a, I don't know, over-exaggerated, easily affected, romantic, sort of like, oh, this is great, like in the moment kind of thing. It looked like he was tiptoeing through space and time. He was literally like tiptoeing and then like skidding to a stop. So that was really cool to me. And then I think what Caleb's about to get to is his speed run through the Speed Force, where he's going so fast, time is basically stopped. It looks more like ice skating than
He framed it off of speed skaters.
right.
So his
I-
like flourish like this, or
And he
like,
does this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be fine with
Imagine
it if
running for your life.
I would be fine with it if his legs were also speed skating. Like it would make sense that Flash be moving so fast, friction doesn't work right.
Mhm.
So if he was sliding across the ground and pushing himself like that, fucking dope. But he's not. He's running, and his arms are fucking.
Might I suggest there's
I love his arms.
yeah.
I love his arms.
Might-
And the reason I love his arms because it's like that's how like if you're running for your pure life, your arms being like on any type of fucking formality is out the window.
Yeah, sure. I just wish I didn't
know-
know that his arms are moving like that because he was imitating speed skaters like Apollo Ono. Like if I thought it was what you're saying, like he was just freaking out running for his life, fine. But because I know he's trying to look like a speed skater, it's dumb. I hate it.
I don't think his you know what I understand why his running is a point of conversation, but I do like his running because it is not typical.
Mhm.
And like Barry Allen is not a typical superhero. He's not a dude who was meant to be a superhero who is blessed with superhero powers. He is a fucking nerd who got superpowers.
Sure.
He's a dude who got superpowers. And that's simple as it. And if anyone who's jogged or ran in a park, people have different runs, and some people will jog at fucking 2 miles an hour and look dumb as fuck, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally what it is. So I
Sure.
don't mind his running. It does not bother me at all. If anything, I think he got a buff this movie. Like like his character was so much stronger this movie. Josh Whedon made him so much weaker and jokey and cowardice, and it just nerfed him completely. This movie, he was so much more powerful, so much more certain of his abilities. He knew what he could fucking do. He knew who he the fuck was. He's the fucking Flash, which is a superhero who, in his own right, can hold down his own franchise, his own TV show, his own merchandise in real life, his own comic book in real life. And Josh Whedon made him some bubbling idiot who didn't want to fight. Fuck out of
And
here.
tripped.
The Flash is the shit.
Yeah.
The Flash is the shit. And Ezra Miller portrayed someone in the Snyder Cut version who was the shit, who could handle his shit, who can do his thing, who can fucking run fast. And at the end of the day, he was more pivotal than Superman was. Prove me wrong.
I'm starting to
Well,
suspect.
Superman doesn't show up in the beginning. He doesn't have a chance to save him.
I'm talking about the end though.
No, like the beginning of that moment. Superman showing up and saving Victor from getting fucking axed in half by Steppenwolf is the reason why Flash is able to come back and save him. So Superman doesn't show up in that moment, and
you are blessed with the ability to have seen the movie before I did. I seen the movie more recent than I did, and it's 4 hours.
yeah.
There's a lot of shit that I just don't remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's starting
But-
to sound like
so
you
I-
guys think the movie is lesser than the sum of its parts. Like everybody has these really great moments. Like, yeah, this was great. Yeah, Cyborg was great.
it's good.
Yeah, Flash was great. C-. Like,
Look, let's be real though. Can we be real? It's a great DC movie, but it's not better than anything. It's not better than the worst Marvel movie.
Okay, all right. Don't
And I have
don't
to-
better than
compare
Thor:
it.
Dark
all right,
World.
So
I have to.
don't
I have
compare.
to.
No, hang on. So
I have
compare
to.
it to all the other DC movies. What is it? DC movie
It's the
wise,
best. It's
what's
And then
what's
it's
the grade?
The third best DC movie they ever made.
What's the grade?
It's the third best DC movie they've made.
you say Man of Steel is your top one,
First
right?
best is Man of Steel.
Okay, second is
Second best,
Wonder Woman.
I would say Wonder Woman.
Respectable.
And third best is this fucking random cum shot. Like fucking random one time fucking shot on the fucking sheets.
so
Like,
confused.
that's it.
I
That's
got
it.
lost real quick.
I'm sorry. It's I said it like that because it's like one off, like, and then we're done.
This is better than
Like,
Thor:
that's
Dark
it.
World, by the way.
Yeah, everything's better than Thor: Dark World.
I like that movie.
Watch-
Everything except for the Incredible Hulk with what was
Banner.
his name?
Ed Norton?
Ed
Ed
Norton.
Yeah.
Everything's better than that. And like Justice League is not that great with Snyder Cut. It's better than the shit that they gave us.
Yeah.
If they remix the Hulk movie, it'd be great too. With fucking.
It sounds like you're ready to give it a D. You
Mark
keep
Ruffalo.
getting harsher.
I think we're enamored by the fact that this is something new, but also
This and
this is
Twilight,
not.
same level right now. Like that's where we're
We got
getting.
we
down
got a
to.
great Cyborg. We got a great Flash. We got a great Batman.
Twilight's not bad.
We got some great action scenes. We got some great slow mo.
Yeah,
We got some great.
Too much of everything.
So if it was 2 movies, you'd give it a B.
It's two movies now.
I don't
It's
know.
It's two 2-hour movies.
That was part of my bringing up it being 4 hours. This doesn't have a clean break. It doesn't have a clean break. Like there's nothing.
I
It
thought
just
the
feels like
chapter
nothing
breaks are great.
happens for the first half. Like things happen, sure, but like their consequence on the
It's
end
a
of the
slow
movie
build.
kind of no, but like if we broke it up into 2 movies, there isn't a movie you
Oh.
make out of the first half with anything interesting in it, other than interesting scenes, not big plot devices.
Okay, but we know that. Okay, I think he's learned a bit. There's no way this dude took a hiatus from acting and didn't read the comments for 2 years. and watch all the documentaries about himself, Zach.
Who's this?
Zach, and watch all the documentaries that people make on YouTube about himself, and people picking about his movie apart. By there's no way he ignored it all, because this dude was trolled for 2 years plus.
But
right?
Justice League wasn't his movie, so why would he care what they think about the movie that Joss Whedon completely remade? They used
a lot
like
of his footage is still in there.
They used like 20%
No,
of Zach's
dude,
stuff. They
it's
got rid
not.
of most of it.
It's not.
They got
I'll
rid
be
of
honest
most
with
of
you,
it.
dude. The one thing that will give it a C for me is the fact that it was not just Joss Whedon's movie, and there's very few times that I thought like, oh, that's from the original. Like, there's very few times. As a whole, it's a new movie.
Anyway, I feel like Zach's learned a lot. I think with no, I hear you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say anyway, as in like, yeah, great. Anyway, back to what I was trying to say, which is, I think he's learned a lot over the years. Zach used to be really bad at doing like moments, like where, in Man of Steel, he was standing in the laundry yard with his fist clenched, and he had the red, towel around his neck, very picturesque, right? Or he was pulling the bus out of the river, or he was catching the helicopter in the oil fire, stuff like that. There's always this like really cool moments, right? Sort of like what I'm gushing about with this movie. But I feel like there are longer moments, and this is one of my favorite things that I said on Steve's show. There are moments where the scene hangs. There's moments where people argue. There's moments where the scene sticks around and lets people have a full ass moment. And beyond that, like, these action scenes are long, and they evolve, and they have like ebb and flow and stuff like that. Like the Amazons getting destroyed was a long, arduous, painful moment where that they just tried to.
I even like. I will say this. I like the Steppenwolf versus the Amazon battle more in Joss Whedon's version than that version.
Wow, I don't understand that at all.
Because like they sacrificed their lives in Snyder's version, and it meant nothing to anyone who was in that building except for the Amazons, and that didn't seem right too. Because these are kind of grunts. Like they all
maybe over the last
from the building.
3,000 years they should have evolved past horses and bows and arrows. That's kind of their fault.
Right, and collapsing bricks.
Right.
Like, so that's a problem for me, because like
dumb.
these are these are the guardians of the Earth realm, of one of the mother boxes.
Right.
These super soldiers, these super
and you got
beings,
some CrossFit Amazons.
The best they got is to throw a sledgehammer, which you just bought for your CrossFit ass gym, Ben.
Dude, Atlantis is full of shit too.
Rocks.
Atlantis is full of shit too.
Yeah,
they get walked right through.
They're worse. Atlantis is worse. It was kind of whack.
Hey,
why did water gods get their asses kicked by a guy who's not doesn't breathe underwater?
Yo, when Shorty started pulling water out from this nigga's body, I was like, oh,
that was incredible.
That was great.
I was like, oh,
so
that's
good
in the movie. Roll credits.
He's like, it's not gonna work on me. It's just like just sucking it out. Yeah, that was crazy.
That's awesome.
Yo, that was actually super lit.
I have a pretty big complaint. You guys,
what? No way. Yeah. Is it us? Because it has been.
And
might be me.
Darkseid.
Hey, I got a big complaint.
Tech Supreme.
Darkseid was there on Earth in the flashback. He shows up, hits the ground, sees the anti-life equation, gets his ass kicked, and leaves.
Yeah.
Well, he got fucked up though by Ares.
So
Ares?
Fast forward a few thousand years, Steppenwolf shows up, finds the anti-life equation, and has to remind him that it's on Earth. How did he forget? How does a dude who's destroyed hundreds of thousands of worlds, some omnipotent time-bending being, forget that all three mother boxes are on one planet, living with the anti-life equation?
Did he die and then come back though? Because like in the ship when they hauled him in there, he was bleeding out real bad, and he was just fucking out.
By the way, when you see him at the end of the movie, he's still got a huge ass scar there. It's pretty badass.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass. Which is a side note. In the MCU, there's a scene in Age of Ultron or some shit where Hulk has a scar on his chest, which is completely a reference to a scar that he got in the Edward Norton movie.
Nice.
Side note.
That's great. Awesome. Edward Norton movie's not like awful, by the way.
No, it's not bad at all. But it's not MCU. But people forget that it's the second movie in the MCU.
It is MCU.
They think it's the first.
Because Ross,
it's the second.
We're gonna get. Was it Ross comes? General Ross is there. Abomination didn't die. He might come. Oh yeah, he's gonna be in the movie.
No, he
is coming back.
in fucking
What's his
She-Hulk.
name? Roth.
Yeah, Eli
It's
Roth.
actor-
Not
No.
Eli
Roth.
Roth. Not Eli Roth. Tim Roth.
No, it is.
No,
Tim
Eli.
Roth.
Tim Roth.
Tim
is-
Roth. Thank
is
you.
coming back. So
Eli Roth
Yeah.
makes
hell of
shitty
an
horror movies.
actor. Yes.
Yeah.
subjective.
Tim Roth is a hell of an actor. One of my faves.
He made a great
I-
monkey.
He did.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, so
If I could fix one
we
thing,
gotta find we gotta find an ending point of our
I gotta-
Justice League Zack Snyder.
did you do your one fix?
I feel like we should. What?
Did you do your one thing you would fix in the movie?
Make it
no,
a B.
no, I'm not going to. I refuse.
So I have one thing.
He's got a list of 28.
Yeah, I have one thing
Got a whole
that
new
I
movie.
I have one thing that I will say, and it only fixed one big problem, which is Superman. It would have been dope if he didn't need Lois to show up to leave. Like he could have flicked them around for a minute and been like, I don't need what the fuck.
I'm bored of this.
Bye and just
Right.
leave.
I like
So, hold on.
Lois Lane grounding him.
That's dog shit
That's
though.
what your wife. That's what your
That's
lady
his.
does,
That's his
bro.
Kent side. He was.
Yes.
Your lady grounds
Hear me
you,
out.
bro.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Y'all be hella wild.
So
on
he's
Twitter.
fighting all
Right.
these dudes, and he's like, what the fuck? I don't need to do this. So he leaves because he was dead, and he goes to find his mom. She's not in her house anymore, right? So then he gets mad and starts looking for his fucking mom. And maybe he finds his mom and Lois in the same place. That's entirely fine. But I would have preferred it if he didn't show up in the right town at the right place at the exact right moment. And instead, and this is taking a little bit from Flash, instead, it would have been dope if he heard the world exploding. Because he could. From the other side of the planet, he could have heard it coming and had flown up into space and then flown backwards around the planet in reverse time in an homage to one of the old
Nope.
Superman movies.
No, I'm out in the stream right
Oh my
now.
God,
and
Caleb.
I am.
Is this
really
a
about-
joke?
I want to. s-
Yeah, it's
you're
mostly a
he's
joke.
And he
Because it's the only way to make Superman showing up and helping them not dog shit.
But spinning the
No,
Earth
it is-
backwards
no.
doesn't reverse time,
No.
Caleb.
No, it doesn't, Ben. That's
It
my
kills-
fucking
it
point.
kills everyone.
So he spins the Earth backwards and kills everybody by accident.
That's my point. Like
I don't.
I,
the
missed
I
nothing-
win. Everybody's dead.
yeah, I'll say this. For me, there's nothing to fix. Right? This is a great remix.
C.
It's a great. Sometimes your remixes aren't A's.
Then it's not great.
If the original
Just say
wasn't
average.
a C, the original was below average,
But nothing.
and this is slightly above average.
So B.
No, C. It's only slightly above average,
C is average.
but but a 78 is above average. If a 75 is average.
That's all right. I mean, I guess.
This is minutia, but I'm out here with it. I gotta run with it. So I feel like it's better than what we've been given. And if they had the mindset of listen to someone who cares about the fans, then this whole thing would be better.
Sounds like that's what we got to me.
But the same week that this premiered, you had DC and what is it, Warner Brothers,
Mhm.
saying like this is
Was
not
it DC
canon.
though, or just Warner Brothers?
I don't. It
think
doesn't
it's
even
just Warner
matter. The people who put the movies together said that this is not canon. We're not running with the Snyder verse.
I wish we had more.
And we know it now. It's the Snyder verse. And honestly, if we want to get DC, if we want to manipulate and force DC to give us what the MCU gives us, but not the same tea, just a different cup, different style of tea, we have to force them to be like, okay, we want the Snyder verse. Like we have to beg them. We have to do all this shit. We have to jump through hoops to convince them that we want this version, right? Like this is the right way. We know this is the right way. We know what Snyder gave us is the right way. We know that. It's not even a question that Josh was wrong and Snyder was right.
Does this redeem
But
Snyder to you
but-
guys?
But Snyder was never in the crosshairs. Whedon is in the shithole. Whedon's the one who's fucked up.
I think it depends who you talk to.
Snyder lost his daughter, and whatever happened, he had to walk away. We get that. But we also know that the people who make the DCEU, maybe Warner Brothers and DC, they have a problem with putting their fucking foot in the fucking project and fucking shit up.
Yep.
Putting their finger in the mix and fuck in the drink and fucking it up. We know that already, right? Like we know that's what they do. We got to get them out of that. How you do? We won it with the Snyderverse. We won with the Snyderverse. Like we're all happy. It passes.
Yeah, sure. I guess.
No,
It
I mean,
still feels
it's
like it
better.
still kind of feels like losing, but yeah, I guess we won.
It's a win loss. But more of a win though. It's more of a win
I'm
because
so
like now like
confused.
Me too. We won D+.
You want to know why I think
sometimes when you win, this is my last thing. And I'm gonna shut the fuck up for the rest of the episode. This is a quote from White Man Can't Jump. Sometimes when you win, you actually lose. Sometimes when you lose, you actually win. And sometimes when you win and lose, you actually tie. We won, even though we may, like me and Caleb may think we lost, but we actually won. This is actually a good movie. It's a good plot. It's a good story. It's fun. We watched it 4 hours. If they gave us more of this would be absolutely MCU level. If they gave us more of what we got, it would be great.
Sure.
I'm done talking.
You want to? So the one thing I realized while we were recording this, and I was looking through people that made this, the one thing that I discovered that made me feel better about my opinion about this movie is my biggest issue is that it feels like a lot of stuff lacks stakes because there's, as I said, even though they argue we shouldn't do this, of course they were going to do it, and it wasn't going to be a problem. And even though like they were going to lose, of course they're not going to lose because Superman's going to show up at just the right time. This movie was fucking written by the guy that wrote Rise of Skywalker, and that movie has the same fucking problems. So like, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
High.
But stakes aren't going to be high, guys. That's I've heard
No.
Dude Bros on Twitter. Hold on, Tech. I got it.
I'm sorry.
I understand.
I'm passing it.
You passed the torch. I've heard Dude Bros on YouTube argue for years that they don't like watching comic book movies anymore because we know the stakes. They're not going to fucking die. So that's why Endgame was so fucking shocking, because the stakes came true, right? So when we watch the next Avengers movie, we're not. How emotionally invested could you be when we know none of them are going to die?
Well, that's the
Endgame is the
problem, though.
only salvation to that argument. Spider-Man's not going to die in the next Spider-Man movie. Well, actually,
I don't think it is, because the last Spider-Man movie has a lot of stakes.
I guess in the story, but like ultimately,
like both Spider-Man movies do, and Black Panther did. Black Panther has ongoing effects that are going to impact the next one.
Side note, James Gunn, the promotional poster for Suicide Squad, they have individual posters for each character.
That's a lot of
in
posters.
Suicide Squad, and the bottom line says, "Don't get attached."
Yeah, people can die left and right in that shit.
Yep,
I love it. It's just like there should have been stakes in this movie. There could have been stakes in this movie. How dope would it have been if like Superman actually did damage, and then the argument of we shouldn't have fucking done this meant something. Like if he'd woken up and destroyed a city because he was like, "Where the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you?" Amazing.
If he killed people, if he killed humans,
he did.
As much as it took him to kill Zod, if he like woke up and killed humans,
Thought he did.
Like,
no, those cops all get out of the way. He doesn't kill anybody in this movie. I remember getting to the end of that and you being like, Ben said that he killed somebody, and he kind of didn't. He blows up cop cars, but nobody's in them.
Ooh.
I like.
All right, let's finish. Let's wrap it. Let's finish.
Yeah.
Well,
this is how we all feel. This is how. Hang on.
All right, guys.
This is how we all feel after talking about this movie.
drained.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated. How I feel about this movie is complicated. Thus, it gets a C because it's the complication.
You want to know my favorite part of the movie?
The ending.
I love it. My favorite part of the movie almost literally is the ending. My favorite part of the movie, spoiler alert for everybody who's been listening to this.
It really ends you on a high note.
Is that, oh shit, that I have two favorite parts. One is when they fucking kill Steppenwolf. Like, yes. That shit was good.
Yeah.
There's no lie about that. That shit was good.
It goes through the fucking portal and lands on the ground, and they're like, this is like,
this is what's gonna happen.
The biggest flex. This is the flex. Like, now what? This what we on? Like, yo, they sent his head back through a portal, bro. That's lit.
Also, why didn't Darkseid just step through the portal with the army that was standing right there and finish it?
Because
that's fine.
His main guy just got his beheaded.
No, Steppenwolf wasn't his main dude. It was his servant.
Doesn't matter. If all four of us went to a bar and like we got like all right, Caleb, you go to the bar, you fight first, and then like they throw your head out. I'm not going in that bar. I'm not going to that bar door, and Ben be like, "Attack, you ain't going." Nah, I'm good.
Also, we know that Steppenwolf and Darkseid and all that stuff know about Kryptonians, Amazons, Atlanteans, and Lanterns. And we know that
because
those.
the only time they've lost is with them.
That's right. Also, how dope was it in the flashback that the Lantern killed and his ring went
and flew away?
Space.
Yep, gone.
Pretty badass.
Yeah. My other favorite part was the epilogue, which apparently means nothing because it will never happen. When Batman's talking to Joker, and he brings up Harley Quinn, and he says, "And when I kill you, and make no fucking mistake, I will fucking kill you." I was like, "Oof, that's good. I like that."
You know what's crazy?
That's good.
They were not there together.
They weren't on the same set.
Nope.
Sure.
Nope.
Well,
and that's kind of dope. That lets you know that Zack Snyder knows how to put together a movie because he did things. He basically manipulated things pretty well.
Also, Ben Affleck really knows how to act it in that scene. He's seething that whole fucking conversation. And it's great. It's really good.
And Jared Leto was. I've always said this. They're good. They're good. Like the people they cast were really good.
Yeah, he could have been a great Joker if he got screen time.
I don't know one person outside of Steppenwolf, which you guys tell me that the guy's good, but like the superhero part is cast perfectly. The bit like Ben Affleck is my Batman. Now he's not the Batman, but like he is a perfect 2020.
He's a great Dark Knight.
He's a great Dark Knight.
Yep.
He's a perfect Dark Knight.
Yep.
Jared Leto is dope in that same realm, in that same conversation, in that same sentence, right? With Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I really like
Ezra Miller,
his purple Lamborghini gangster. It's just,
I love it.
It's like Joker we've never had.
Gold teeth, hand tattoos. I love that. Ezra Miller as Flash is perfect, and Jason Momoa is Aquaman, and Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The acting is never the problem. The actors aren't the problem. They're so
except
good.
for Gal, she can't act. Sorry.
She's not trash though. What do you want
she's
from
not
her?
She's not Cara Dune.
She's not no dude. Oh my god. Yo,
I'm sorry.
I saw a lot of shit that said like Cara Dune should have been fired for her acting long before her tweets.
Yeah. I have another beef, but I'll let it go. We'll talk about it off air or whatever.
No, get it off, man. Say it real quick.
A lot of the CG combat kind of sucks. Like Superman punching Wonder Woman, and like the way that it's animated after some of that stuff doesn't work. Like people just like flying and sticking in a thing. It feels weird. Also, when she jumps over Steppenwolf at one point, her face is so clearly added to a CG model. Like her head moves really, really, really unnatural. It's like this weird uncanny valley most of the time with some of the the CG heavy like ragdoll stuff. All of that stuff has this weird feel to me. And I tested myself to see if it was just like I haven't seen a movie with this much CG in a minute, and went back and watched Spider-Man Far From Home, and there's that scene where he's using his spider senses and fighting down the hallway, basically blind, killing all those drones. And that CG doesn't look like CG for half the time. It looks like a dude jumping around. And a lot of the stuff here just feels like weird.
I think I mentioned this in other movies. The uncanny valley is going to pop up a lot anytime we see something that's not real, because we don't know what that's supposed to look like. I challenge anybody to go on YouTube and find somebody being thrown into a wall at 70 miles an hour and see if that looks natural. Right? You're probably not going to see it. It's probably probably not allowed to be shown on YouTube. You probably have to go to the dark web for that. But like, I think there's a lot of things like we don't know what the Flash speed skating through space time is going to look like. It's always going to look just a little goofy. Godzilla is always going to look a little goofy because it's not real. So I think people getting pitched across the room is always going to look a little goofy. Ben. You know what I mean?
I feel you because like you don't see that in the park. You're not going to see someone running.
What does that look like?
Time in the park, like
but I've seen like
bullfighting.
I've seen Marvel movies do it, and they just do it differently. And the way they do it works for me. Like watching Captain America fall 10 stories when
Wanda gets hit first by Agatha and
that's bad.
That looked like Blade 3.
No, that's bad.
Awful.
That's what I think a lot of this stuff looks like. that. It's weird. But like when
Sarge
you
like,
watch,
fuck all this.
but when you watch Cap fall
Let's
like
look at my
10,
other screen.
when you watch Cap fall like 10 stories
My
in
other
Winter
one over there.
Soldier or in Civil War, you watch Cap fall like 10 stories in Civil War out of that building in Africa and then like hits the thing, and a real person didn't fall that far, they'd be dead. But you couldn't tell it wasn't a real person.
Unless it was
It
filmed
looked-
in Hong Kong, because those people kill themselves for their movies.
I mean, sure.
They really do.
It's not funny. You laughed, but like
It's true. I mean, not
I
okay.
saw a YouTuber die the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not laughing that they're dying, but these guys, like when you watch old Jackie Chan movies and they're bending their backwards over a guardrail or something, it's like
Yeah.
literally throw themselves into danger.
I seen this YouTuber who was like who do pull ups on tall buildings with no like bottom
Right.
or whatever. Yeah, he did it to get, and he got famous, and then one day
They added the Wilhelm screen. It was perfect. Yeah.
All right, guys. So, final grade. Caleb, you said a C.
Yep.
Sarge, you said a what?
A B.
A B. Ben, you said a B plus, A minus. I said C.
You guys-
Does everyone hold on? After we talked about it for an hour, do you guys hold on to your same grade?
I'm going to remove my A status. You
Ooh.
negative sons of bitches, and give it a
Don't
B
get
plus.
mad at people who don't like things. People are allowed to not like things.
He's
Sure,
upset.
yeah, that's me. Sure, I'm gonna demand everybody like what I like. No, you made
No,
good
you were
points.
like, it's all
you
so
Caleb,
negative
you made good
earlier.
points.
Okay, thanks.
It's
Yeah,
no longer an A.
I think
Okay,
it's-
take a compliment.
I consider this the absolute win.
Take a compliment. No, yeah, you made good points. It's I don't.
It's not perfect.
It's not as good as an A, but I enjoyed the fuck out of it, just like I did with King Kong versus Godzilla. And
Are we talking about that next? Because I fell asleep twice.
no, we don't need to watch about Godzilla next or talk about that again. We gotta move on.
Good.
I think
Okay.
Ryan needs to pick the next episode.
I'll make my own video about that on TikTok then. 'cause
I have to pick the
fell
next
asleep
one?
twice.
I think you should be bestowed the honor of picking the next one.
Hang on, we're
I
at.
would love to hear something you're passionate about,
Yep.
Sarge.
I mean, isn't Mortal Kombat in 2 weeks?
We
already talked
did
about it,
that,
though.
unfortunately.
But the
We
new
already
one,
said about it,
though.
but we do have to do something about the new movie. We can't have an episode dedicated to Mortal Kombat and then never mention the new movie ever
Yeah,
again.
or
That's true.
Godzilla. Next episode could be Mortal Kombat and Godzilla. Because we did two
The
episodes
HBO
about
when
those.
does-
The HBO
In-
episode.
This is the HBO show, everybody. We talk about Justice
The
League,
Hobo
Godzilla, Mortal Kombat.
What's next? Yeah, what else is coming to HBO? After
Well,
all
Falcon
this?
and Winter Soldier will be in its 5th week. Next time
It's
we,
already
this is the
it's
four.
in-
This is episode 4. Next week will be episode 5.
We could just
So
do
the
a
next
recap.
the next time we record will be the day before the finale. So we could record on a Friday and record after the finale.
ooh. Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, we could just do a recap.
So Falcon, I don't want to do no. We're better than that. We can't do a Falcon Winter Soldier recap. We can't.
Why?
No, I
You
meant
just
like
did a
a
fucking
no, I
wish.
meant like a nerd recap of like King Kong, Mortal Kombat.
We'll do a first quarter pop recap.
Okay,
Sure.
I like that.
First quarter
Quarter
recap.
pop cap.
January, February, March, a little bit April. That's second quarter, but we'll do. No, that's the first quarter,
That's
right?
still
We'll do,
Q1.
yeah, we'll do a Q1 recap. All the things. We're gonna spitfire. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what we should do is we should set a timer, no more than 15 minutes per topic. And when that timer goes
Say
off,
less,
fucking
because-
hold to it.
Right now we're at an hour and 22 minutes. I always have a timer going, so say less.
Yeah.
We went long
I
on this
love
one,
it.
guys. Sorry, just like Zack Snyder.
We also had some.
No,
we also
I
had
think
some,
because I
some
had a-
tech issues.
I had a-
so
Yeah, there was a couple
Ah, yeah.
kerfunkles, but I've already rectified
It's
it
like
for the next
kerfuffle?
episode.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Nerdy Bits podcast, Nerdy Bits Show podcast.
I have a
We are a podcast. We generally every episode we talk about what we're about to do and accomplish for the next 2 weeks because we do it every bi-monthly or bi-weekly or I don't
We
know,
do it
like
every other week.
quadruple
every time you
daily.
get a
I don't know.
paycheck.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, when you
paycheck
get paid,
podcast.
either we're gonna be the podcast you listen to when you just got paid, or you're hella broke and it's bad. And it's all
when you get
bad.
20 minutes for, or $20 for the next week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be your entertainment
So-
for the next week.
So at Sketch Sawyer,
Mhm.
where are you gonna be? What you got going on?
I don't have much new to say from last time. I have all the same projects. I've
Cool.
if you like free webcomics, look up For Molly. Also, Starfall on Webtoons. Make sure my name's on it because there's multiple Starfalls, unfortunately. And then we're slowly putting our game demo together and going to be pitching it soon as the Summer of Games comes around. You might actually see our video out in the wild at some point, which would be pretty incredible.
All right.
And
all right.
school's going to be done in a few weeks, and I'm really actually happy about that. I'm very excited for a summer break.
There you go.
Yep.
Summer breaks are lit.
Yep.
Summertime.
It's a very stressful
All right.
semester.
So Instagram and Twitter handle @LubWub. What you got going on?
I have an interview that I'm lining up with a guy Ben and I met at we all met at Comic-Con last time we went. Adrian.
No, we
Bresky.
didn't.
All of us who went to Comic-Con met him.
One-
you met
one
your
person wasn't there.
your first child while we were at Comic-Con. Chill.
Not worth it.
Jesus.
Can I
At 7
can
out
I
of 10,
trade them?
Would not recommend.
7 out of 10 will not be coming back.
A C.
No, so I've got that interview coming up. We're gonna talk about storytelling in video games, which is part of a series I'm gonna continue to pursue. I'm starting a fiction project this week, radio style drama this week. Recording the first bit of that either later tonight or probably tomorrow morning. And then now that the wife's back at work and some semblance of pattern is forming, I might be able to just like do more streaming and shit. But the last 2 weeks have been fucking hell with technology failing and kids having to be picked up because of problems and because of people being sick, and it's just all sorts of shit. Sometimes life gets in the
Life.
fucking way, man, and it sucks.
Yep.
But I got a chance to sit down finally, like on Monday, and I made like 5 TikTok length clips, and I've been uploading them all week. Tech, don't do that, please. Fucking yeah, so I'm just working on getting into that routine again because like life's returning to somewhat normal, and that's fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. Tech and
All right,
Tech and
so
I
we
have
got-
very normal. I forgot to mention, Tech and I have very normal plans next week. Going to a baseball game.
We're going to a
What?
baseball
Yep.
game.
Damn.
That's
Wrong,
dope.
wrong one. That's the right one. That's the right one.
Dude, I
we're
figured
going
out how
to
to
a
watch
baseball
the
game.
Cardinal game today because
I had to go to a bar.
the Fire Stick has the Fox Sports Go app, and my in-laws have DirecTV, so I signed in through their DirecTV on my Fox Sports Go app and watched the game at home, and it literally made my week. Like my week
Dude,
has been
listen.
shit, and like watching the
Listen.
Cardinals home game, so good.
I had a bad day because I couldn't watch the Cards game, and then like clients like started getting on my nerves. I was very negative today. I literally I messaged the homie who has the traditional cable. Let me get your login. His login didn't work. I could not get Fox Sports to go. But well, first of all, Bally Sports bought Fox Sports. Didn't know Bally Sports was balling.
Casinos, bro.
Yeah. And then I saw a video of Las Vegas and saw Bally's in the background. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, yeah. So I had a bad day because I couldn't watch the game. But then I ended up going to a bar and I watched the game. And then someone bumped into me and I turned to them and said, "Hey, bro, you're too close. You touched me." He said, "What?" I said, "You're too close." Yeah, it was a whole thing, but it was hilarious.
Your PMS is pretty bad.
And
It's official. You suck.
Soundboards.
oh, yeah.
That's an
All right,
awfully
so-
hot coffee.
Coffee pot. At Sergeant Sodium on Twitter and Instagram. What are you up to?
Oh, I got so much shit going on. I've got so many woodworking projects that are popping up out of nowhere that I need to get really going on. Ben's is first, so I can get my shit branded and on his or in his gym for the client, and then I just got to
Sure.
keep going from there.
Make sure you give me some
Fucking-
business cards when you deliver that.
Yeah, working a real job, Ben. I'm just kidding. As
I'll
your
make your
mom,
business cards then.
no, as your mom says.
Right.
No, but having a 60-hour a week job is really fucking hindering me and shit, and I'm about over it. So I'm working on something to be a natural on my own gig at home. So hopefully that becomes a thing with all this woodworking and all that stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
really pushing for that and still streaming. I actually sat down with the wife today and set up a new screen. Got a new stream schedule set up with her. so we can start figuring that shit out. And yeah, that's about it.
Sweet.
Nice. Nice. All right. Well, I got nothing going on.
Great. See you guys.
See you guys next time.
Hey, before the next episode airs, baseball will be on Xbox for the first time in 7 years, and it'll be on Game Pass.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So fuck yeah.
I do have merch. We did not have our weekly meeting like I wanted to have, but I've created merch for all of our shit. So I have a store up for that. I put the link in the Twitch comments. I'm sorry to blindside you guys, but that's what happens when we don't have a meeting. And I do have merch on the way physically to my house. As soon as it gets here,
shit.
I'll be modeling it.
That all over one is fucking great.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I ordered some shit. So it's all live, it's all ready to go. It's all to support the stream, to support the podcast. It'll go right back into business. We have premium polos, we have an all over shirt that's really fun, which everyone on the front, which is kind of difficult to pull off, but it works. And we have face masks coming. Not everything is live right now, so if you don't see something, it's because it's getting worked on. But that's where I'm at right now.
A+.
yeah.
Okay. Justice League might have gotten a C, but this storefront gets an A+.
It's coming together.
Get something. I don't have a pillow. What is that? Or that's a face mask. I don't have a face mask.
Face mask. You should, but it's not. It's just it's a lot of. I've had
C.
I gotta pee really bad, guys. So I want to end this so bad. But I had a lot of problems with Teespring. I got flagged for copyrights because my name is Tech Supreme and they thought I was Supreme Clothing. I was trying to rip off Supreme Clothing. It was really weird. Teespring sucks. So I had to move to something else. Long story, but that's what I'm working on and growing. So
Solid.
yeah.
Sick.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, shit, 6 Supreme.
Yeah. Until next time. Peace. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.